drug and device industry, with the disease costing hundreds of billions of dollars in the United States alone. CNBC's Mike Huckman is at the American Diabetes Association annual meeting in New Orleans this week. He has the CEO of one company whose company is part of the fight against diabetes. Mike.
Yeah, a much bigger part of the fight, Maria, because many people may think of Medtronic as kind of a heart device company. So we're talking about implantable defibrillators and stents and pacemakers. But a good part of its growth of late especially has been coming from the diabetes device unit. So we're talking about glucose monitoring systems and insulin pumps as well. And it's working on a bunch of new stuff there in that space to continue to drive growth well into the future. Joining me live now for another CNBC exclusive is Medtronic's chairman and CEO, Mr. Bill Hawkins. Good afternoon, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mike.
So what percentage of your top and bottom line as we stand here today is coming from diabetes devices, and how much do you expect to grow that in the future?
So diabetes has been our fastest growing part of Medtronic. It makes up about 10% today on the top line. We've increased our R&D expenditures by about 70% over the last 3 years. So we are clearly investing in an area where we think there's a lot of headroom for growth.
And a lot of that money is being spent on this. We're talking about CGMs, or continuous glucose monitoring. What do we see here? What device is this?
So we're on the path of closing the loop with diabetes. So what you have here are, first is a little tiny sensor that is used to monitor your blood sugar levels. So today you prick your finger, take your blood sample, look at your blood sugar levels. This is a little sensor that monitors it real time.
And I just stick that into my skin somewhere?
You just put it on the side, and it stays there for several days, and it sends information. There's a little radio built into it. It's sending information to this pump, the Paradigm real time, and you can see on it a display of what's happening with your blood sugar levels. And then here is an infusion set that's actually delivering insulin. So for patients, type 1 diabetics, and even some type 2 diabetics, you have the ability to continuously infuse insulin to better manage and to stabilize your blood, your diabetes.
And just in the last week or so in the UK, you launched a product that takes this system to a whole other level, and you're hoping to bring it to the American market in a couple of years or so. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's right. We're very excited about what we're calling the VEO, which is the first, if you call it, semi-closed loop system. What it does is this sensor is monitoring your blood sugar levels, and one of the things you're trying to manage is patients whose blood sugar levels go too high or too low. And actually when they go too low, that's when you get some real complications. And so this sensor will be monitoring it, and if the patient's sugar levels go too low, it will actually turn off the pump. So it's basically now communicating and talking, and then actually giving the pump commands to regulate, the fluid.
And you also have a pump patch that you're working on as well.
So this is something that's very exciting that that's still in development. We expect to perhaps have in about a year from now, but this is a tiny little patch delivery system that would replace this, what you see here, the pump and the set. This would be a device that would be actually placed on the abdomen, and it would control the infusion of insulin, and it would communicate to a little sort of PDA, if you will, a little handheld device that would also have information if you had your blood sugar levels being monitored.
Before we let you go, I have to move on from diabetes. The New York Times has done a series of very prominent articles recently about one of your doctor consultants who allegedly fudged data on body replacement parts that Medtronic owns. What is the extent of the company's financial relationship with that doctor, and will you be turning over all of your documentation to Senator Grassley, who is conducting an investigation into this matter?
Right. So this is obviously very unfortunate with Dr. Kuklo. Our relationship began after he left the Walter Reed Medical Center and went to WashU. And we are in discussions with the Senator's office, and we will be providing information on our financial relationships with Dr. Kuklo. In fact, that information, I think, is being provided this week.
But you can't tell us that publicly right now?
No, I think it's not appropriate right now to disclose that.
All right, Bill Hawkins, the chairman and CEO of Medtronic, thanks again for joining us exclusively on CNBC. And coming up, Maria and Bob on Fast Money at about 5:30 Eastern Time. Breaking news data out here at ADA out of Novo Nordisk, and that could have an impact on Eli Lilly and Amylin Pharmaceuticals as well. Back to you guys.
Okay.